Ready?
Cheers. Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. All right, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the podcast, where we pull back the curtain, give you some insight on what goes on behind the scenes of your favorite bar and restaurant. We like to call that the industry perspective.
And today we are joined by the owners of Spring Street Bar here in DTLA. Go ahead and introduce yourselves and let everybody know who you are. Your camera's right over there. Look into the lights.
My name is Alexander Von Rees, and I'm one of the co-owners of Spring Street Bar here in the historic core.
And I'm the other one, Brandon Richard, co-owner of Spring Street Bar. That's how I usually refer to myself, as the other one.
Yeah, the other one. Cool. Well, thank you again for allowing us to come into your space and interview you guys. We haven't interviewed any owners yet to the point where we've interviewed them in their space. I mean, Jess Bunny was the first owner we've talked to, but we haven't actually been able to get to her space yet. So thank you for allowing us to come in, being so hospitable. Yeah. So just tell us a little, whoever wants to go first, just a little bit about yourself, how you guys started in the industry, stuff like that.
I'll be honest, man, owner still feels weird. I'm like, no, we're just two bartenders that happen to get a spot. Every time someone says you own the place, it feels surreal.
Yeah.
We've been looking at a place since we were 25. We met each other at Bestia years ago, and knew then that we wanted to have a spot. Bestia really kind of ingrained serious hospitality, steps of service, standards. And from that point on, we're like, let's start looking at spaces. And we were talking about this earlier before we started all this, but we looked at Westbound way back in the day. And that was the first venue. Granted, at 25 years old, it was definitely a...
I think both of us consider that one a blessing that we didn't get, because it went to some mentors of ours, which was awesome to watch too. But it was definitely one of those, we thought we were ready, and then 6 years later, we finally ended up, finally ended up finding a spot that worked for us. But,
nice.
We've been very fortunate to work at some really great spaces. And have some great mentors like Mike and Matt, owners of Park Bars, have been instrumental in us getting this space. I learned a lot from them, working with them for Bar Flores, Lowboy, Wolf and Crane. It's really pushing that neighborhood hospitality. To bring that here was incredible.
Keep going.
So. Man, I couldn't be more grateful.
Well,
and now it's
where did it go? Now I'm just filling you up. Where did it go?
Oh, it's lower, much lower.
I couldn't go any lower. I was going to get nipple there after a while. Thank you for the interview.
Sir. But yeah, man, it was, honestly, it was a journey. For a brief point after COVID, I was like, hey, maybe I'll just stick to the corporate beverage world.
Yeah.
I wasn't having that.
No.
Dude, I was calling him every day, yelling at him, you're not going to be happy doing this. You don't like working for other people.
Yeah. I lasted about 6 months, and I called him, hey, so we should look at spaces again, because I'm going crazy. I can't do this anymore. And we saw this space actually go on the market, on and off the market, probably 3 times.
What was it before?
It was always Spring Street Bar, but it was different operators.
Yeah.
And Pouring with Heart.
Oh, where's it at?
Pulled it on and off, I think 2 or 3 times.
The Rebirth. Reborn, balloons. I saw them a while back.
We took them down when we decorated for Christmas. Or
okay. There was a balloon saying
it's on the hat
Reborn.
Somewhere, which I don't think I have
any
any with me either.
Okay.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So the bar opened in 2010 as the original Spring Street Bar. At one point, it was part of the Acme Hospitality, so they had 6th Street Tavern, they had Library Bar, Beelman's. They were the rival to Pouring with Heart in downtown.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I don't know what exactly happened and why they had to end up closing up shops, but they sold a lot of the bars to Pouring with Heart. And then Pouring with Heart was looking to offload this, and we were just right place, right time, and we were able to negotiate the spot. And
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's awesome. So I don't know if I caught, where did you meet exactly?
Bestia.
Bestia,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we both came in as barbacks. And
From barback to owner is crazy.
Yeah, it was.
That's a big jump.
Bestia was my first chef-driven serious restaurant. Again, I was 24, 23, and Ori was so intense. I remember after my interview, I walked up to him and he's like, "Why do you want to work here? Why Bestia?" And I had no idea what Bestia was. I was like, well, my buddy Aluji got me this interview and said it's a great beverage program. So I'm like, well, it's a great restaurant. He's like, that's all you have to say?
I don't know you.
I wasn't given the script.
Mine was the exact same. Yeah. I showed up and it was like I was working at another restaurant that was they had somebody on vacation for a long time, but they had seniority over me. So I got a lot of good shifts for a while, and then somebody was like, hey, he's like, I can't give you shifts here. He's like, but my brother needs help at Bestia, which was Hamish McShane and Angus. So I went over there to meet Angus, and then I'm like interviewing for Bestia, and same thing, have no idea like what I'm getting myself into. Yeah. And then the next 2.5, 3 years was just like the ultimate education.
Yeah.
It was
big times.
We talk about like, just better to like train somebody fresh than to have somebody come on who already has a bunch of bad habits. It was pretty awesome to start your training in a place that is so intent on doing things the right way the first time. So it was like really fortunate for me is like to start as a bar back there to like really learn the right steps of service and the right way to do things. And I think it's
good knowledge.
Yeah,
good knowledge in places like that.
Yeah, I think it made like the rest of the journey a lot easier. Having just kind of like the foundation was solid, and then from there, then it was just like meeting other people, like our mentors at Wolf and Crane and. Everywhere else that we stopped along the way, like getting the rest of the education there, but like starting solid and like having the chefs there when you're trying to figure out a syrup for your cocktail, and just like, hey, I can't figure out how to get this flavor out of this, out of this obscure fruit that I just found at the Asian market today, and then them sharing their tips, tricks, and techniques or whatever with you guys was it was a huge advantage for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're walking into something and you have no idea what you're doing, and then you're trying to be creative at the same time, you can get stuck, and then next thing you know, you lose your passion for what it is you're trying to do because you never got help.
And everyone that's working there is like diehard passion. Like they will easily spend 16 hours a day at that restaurant to do the best they can do. So it was like it's inspiring for the bar team too. You walk in and there's prep cooks and line cooks that have been there longer than you have, and they're still working these insanely long days because of the passion of like, we need perfection, we need to make it great. So like when we got the opportunity to work on creating our own cocktails for the space, that kind of inspiration pulled through too. And it was like, and you show up at 9 a.m. to R&D cocktails and go walk onto the farmer's market truck that pulled up every morning, got to taste the fruit next to the chefs was mind-blowing. It was incredible.
Like every day is the World Series, Super Bowl.
It was insane. The running joke was no less than 500 covers. Like, what are we doing here? And that's just what we did.
Yeah, don't get out of bed for anything less than 500 covers was like something said almost every day. We show up, there'd be like 350. Like, I'm going home. It's not worth my time.
Have either of you seen The Bear?
Yeah.
Seen what?
The Bear, the show.
I haven't. I haven't watched it yet.
What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think the intensity is there for sure.
Does it any of that felt like similar to your experience at Bestia, or it was just
I think it's a TV show, so they try to play up like the drama and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna lie, there's definitely intensity, but it's also like everyone's intense. You're there for a reason, and you're there to get 500 covers in the span of, we opened at 5 and closed at 11. You're cranking. And so that was
and I think everybody's different too. Where it's like, for me, I needed that kind of intensity. It was like the thing that like kind of kept me going. Like I originally came to this city to be an actor, like everyone else. This guy. But
funny story on that too.
So like when I came down, it was like when I started working at Bestia, having no idea what it was, the passion that was around me made it like okay for me to like set this other dream aside for a while, to be like, these guys are so passionate about what they're doing, and like it allowed me to like be happy about going into this world too, like because it was just like something like that I just never seen this kind of passion about food before. Like growing up, like the nice dinner, like the nicest dinner we would do was like Outback Steakhouse or what's the Italian spot?
Olive Garden.
Like those were like nice dinners, and not to say that like you can't have a great meal there. You can, but it was just like seeing the passion and drive that all these guys had at this fantastic restaurant was like, oh man, like this is an honorable profession for me to like want to chase. Like watching all of these guys that I looked up to, and how serious they were about what they were doing was like, oh man, like I can get into this.
Nice.
So like the intensity was like, it was great for me. It just like kept me interested, very easily distracted. So it was like, yeah, when these guys were taking it that seriously, it made it easy for me to just like latch on and be like, and I was, I love doing it like right off the bat.
Yeah.
That's cool. But I think that's also good on you for being able to see that. Like, hey, I need that challenge. I need that engagement. Not everyone knows how to lock in on their own, but if they have something that they're able to believe in, that's what helps you get out of bed. Not just the 500 covers. It's also, you believe in what you're doing. And that just, it's on the other person to be able to see that though. Sometimes people will see someone doing all the work, like seeing these chefs that have all of this knowledge and then say, well, I don't want to go to these tastings. I don't want to go sit next to the fruit truck. Or I don't want to do this. I don't want to lock in. But there are some people who are like, oh, I didn't realize how much this could matter to me until I saw how it's executed at such a level.
I always feel like I compare it best. It's like I grew up playing sports, and I think if people that did the same thing, it's like I would compare Bestia to finally joining the pros. Like you're now at the point where you live, eat, and breathe this restaurant. Like, I mean, we're here 7 years later. We're still talking about Bestia. Yeah. Like it's ingrained. 10 years later, this is still like that's all. It is. Yeah, it's like the pros. It's like being there and you make it to this. Yeah, the peak, if you will. Granted, I think opening up our own bar is definitely a whole nother peak. But
it was, it was like that was like back to like that was like the foundation, and then like that allowed us to like. I mean, you had already been at Wolf and Crane before, right?
Yeah. So I had a weird trajectory. My first bartending gig was at Bottega Louie, and I thought I was hot shit at 22 years old, coming off across Bottega Louie. And I'm like, we're doing God knows how many covers a night, and they opened in 2010, so they've been open for 2 years when I joined on the team, and I was 22 years old bartending here, and then I got offered to bartend at Wolf and Crane. I'd never done 2 a.m. before, so I'm like, my whole mindset was I want to be a som, but I need to learn what 2 a.m. nightlife is like first. Did that, took the som test while I was at Wolf and Crane.
Nerd.
And then I got, passed the som test. Like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a sommelier. I'm going to go work for this big wine company, make a lot of money, and just chill. That was my whole mentality. And then Delusion hits me up, and I started at Bestia. And I was like, oh, this is a whole different ball game, whole different world out here. And then that was it.
That's cool. You went from chill to owning a bar in downtown LA, so let's talk about that. I mean, the times that you've been here, what, a year and a half, 2 years now?
A little over a year.
A little over a year?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, with the build out, well, like the remodel, closer to a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, but open officially just over a year.
Yeah. I mean, walk people through that. Like I said, we haven't had bar owners before, especially ones that came in and flipped the bar that was already there. Because there's also stuff attached to that. It's like, oh, you are now the owner of my favorite bar, and now I'm going to judge you differently because, oh, why did you change this or change that?
That was very much like that was something that was a little difficult to navigate. I think honestly the remodel helped us get through that and kind of get a game plan before we opened the doors. But this was like, I mean, this like one of the reasons we kept the name was just like this was a staple of the downtown community for so long that there is very much like this is my basement bar, like this is my after work hangout spot, and it has been for the last 10 years. So we had like a huge community of people that was like very adamant. You know, like we have these amazing big windows that open at the front door, so we don't really want smoking on the patio, but we have people that have been smoking on that patio for the last 15 years. And like they were very unhappy and were very happy to tell us.
Yeah,
you know, and like a lot of them still come here today, but it was a lot of like navigating these like, you can't change that. This is like it felt like a piece of their bar, you know, like where we were like you said, it was like we were taking their bar from them and like making it something that it wasn't before. So I think we tried to navigate that the best we could by like kind of like keeping the name, trying to honor some of the traditions. We brought out this like fantastic beer can Christmas tree over here that was like, it was a piece of the old Spring Street as kind of like it's like an Easter egg when somebody who's been coming here for years like, oh, they have the tree again, you know.
Yeah, that's
like
cool.
We're like still a little piece of the same, but he and I obviously wanted our identity and, you know, the things that we wanted to bring to the downtown community kind of bring back. Felt like there was like a hole that was missing in this area specifically of downtown, of just like a comfortable neighborhood bar you can afford to get a couple cocktails at.
Yeah.
You know, like with the service elevated, you know, trying to bring hospitality back to its, you know, to its former self. I feel like hospitality was lost a lot kind of during the pandemic.
Yes.
And so I think, yeah, there was definitely some tough, you know, challenges to get through with that. But I feel like a year in, we're still tweaking, obviously. We're by no means
still building.
But yeah.
You're never really done.
No.
That's
No,
not how it
absolutely,
works.
yeah, and you never will be. And again, that was more like watching Mike and Matt at Wolf and Crane kind of tweak things every single year, like never being like satisfied as like this is the final product.
Yeah.
Like
There's always room to improve. There's always
Yeah.
something that a year in, I'm like, I want to change so many things. But now it's like, all right, what does budget allow and what makes sense? But
and
you
I
learn
don't
every year.
think you see many, you know, successful cocktail programs that operate for 10 years that didn't change things along the way.
Exactly.
Like you're like, you know, if it's hot in 2010, it's probably not going to be still the same thing that people are looking for in 2020.
Who's ordering chocolatinis now?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like if you're still doing the chocolatini, it's
Well, they're called espresso martinis now. That's the
like the variation of the Cosmo and like
Yeah.
that's like 2000s.
100%.
Yeah.
If you're still trying to do that, I don't know, maybe
Nah,
let it go.
yeah.
What's been one of the most difficult things as bar owners that you've come across while opening, maintaining? Like what is one of the biggest challenges you guys face?
I think right now it's downtown being, with everything that's happened over the last year, it's kind of revitalizing downtown and kind of getting downtown to get rid of the optics that it's a dangerous place. It's like, no, it's actually a really cool space with a lot of cool bars and restaurants. And having a neighborhood bar, we obviously depend on the neighborhood, but we also depend on people that want to come out to downtown on Friday, Saturday, Sundays, and get the out-of-towners, if you will.
Right.
I think that's kind of been our biggest challenge is programming. We knew when we opened the spot that we wanted to have a really heavy industry bar. That was just our background, but also have somewhere that is, you know, for the other what we call normies, if you will.
Normies,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
civilians.
The
we call them
civilians.
cities.
I think honestly that's been the hardest part, and a lot of people said we were crazy for opening a bar in downtown. Like downtown is really hard right now, and we knew it was gonna be hard. We didn't realize it was gonna be this challenging with all this that happened this last year.
None of us saw this coming. None of us saw this coming.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, this year felt like the perfect storm. You know, it's like we like started the year with the fires, you know, just north of here, but obviously that had a huge effect on
That
everything
really
down
affected
here.
it.
Like, you know, restaurants and like places like Bestia, like where like they closed their doors for a couple days. Like spots that like never do that, you know, for events that are happening. Yeah, we had that, and then with ICE coming in. Obviously,
The riots and the raids and everything.
All the protests downtown. You know, they were marching right down our street.
Right.
It's been a year. It's been a hell of a year.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that's, you know, it's also kind of like helped us find our identity because sort of, you know, being able to actually do something like during the fires was the first time I think we did like a real fundraiser in here. I think was probably the first time, and it was like the first time that we were actually in a position where we're like, hey, like we could do something about this situation,
Right.
Which was super cool because, normally you're just, you know, you're a little piece of a much greater machine, and they're doing something, and you're proud to be helping, but it was just like that first conversation of like, oh man, like we can actually help clothe people that need things right now. Like we can actually have a piece of this. So it's like as hard as it was kind of like. I feel like it really helped create a little bit of our identity of just like who we want to be. We knew we wanted to come in and like be a piece of the community and try to like rebuild downtown. That was very much a piece of our, you know, what we wanted from the beginning. This is where we like to hang out. This is where, you know, where we spend our nights is bouncing around town, especially pre-pandemic. We were out on the streets every
always hear about
every
downtown.
night.
We always hear about
We
downtown.
felt the original goal was to like kind of like try to be a piece of bringing that thing back to downtown, and then with all these other kind of wrenches that got thrown into the system, it was like, man, this can be deeper than that. There's more change that we can be a part of, that we can, you know, really try to help those around us through this thing that's, you know.
And that's what also brings people to you as well. You know, like how people said you were crazy for opening a bar downtown, there's also that other side of, because you decided to make that ideological decision to be supportive of the community.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you've seen how you've been, I don't want to say rewarded, but the community has also come back and said, thank you for being one of those bars that actually cares. Because I know that's what got me in here, because I came to LA in 2021, and there were some bars I would go to, and I came here a couple times and it was okay. I thought it was okay, but it was very much a local bar.
Yeah.
And that's not a problem for me, but I was like, all right, I'll come back here at some point. I don't know when, but I also don't walk over here unless I have to. Not because of it being dangerous, it's just rather not.
Yeah.
But then next thing I know, I started hearing about the things that you guys are doing. I'm like, okay, no, I got to go over there. I got to see what they're doing over there, because now I'm hearing about, oh, these owners actually care about the community. What's up with that?
Yeah.
And then to find out when I get here, you're actually behind the bar and you're here. It's not just owners saying they care from over here. Mm-hmm. They're saying they care while standing right in front of you, and that means a lot. So I just want to say, like,
Real
thank you for doing
leadership,
that.
real leadership, not
Exactly.
not just the boss, but like leaders. Like
Yeah.
that's what you guys are demonstrating. Like
Cool.
you're behind the
Appreciate
bars.
it,
guys,
Yeah.
yeah.
Leading by example.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you. It's been, I mean, it's been, like I said, really rewarding kind of seeing the whole community show up, and it's been exciting and like inspirational too, of like, all right, the first events that we did for the fires back in January was like the kickoff for this stuff we've done, and it's been cool to see kind of it keep growing momentum. And we've had some incredible brand partners as well that have just kind of, every time I pick up the phone and say, hey, do you want to help us with this event? They're on board and we're going. So it's really cool to see kind of both sides of like the industry community showing up, but also the community as a whole as downtown showing up and being here. So yeah, it's been great.
No, that's awesome.
I think, and I think that's the thing too. It's like the more you see around you of like people trying to do that, the more you want to get involved. Like we were talking before we started filming, I think about, our mentors that got one of the bars that we were trying to make an offer on 6 or 7 years ago. Those guys aren't really bartending anymore. Like now, they have their own nonprofit where it's like they were, a huge part of our inspiration, or at least for me specifically, like watching those guys like go from like being some of the coolest bar operators that we knew and got to like work with over the years, and then like watching them like spawn into, we would rather spend our time helping people, because they started out during the pandemic, the Know Us Without You guys. Mm-hmm. They really started helping like feed the community around them and take care of those that were being affected, that weren't getting the support that they needed. So it's like us watching guys like that made it a lot easier for me specifically to be like really passionate about like, hey man, like if we have a voice, like let's use it, let's actually try to do something good with this, this platform that we are lucky enough to have.
Yeah.
And so like hoping that we can be a piece of that too. It's like if people see us trying to do this, then more people want to get involved. And
Well, I feel like you already are. But
I mean, that's the hope.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Is like when you're
hoping,
when you're a part of it, it's hard to see yourself as a part of something because you're focused on trying to be a part of it. But there's also a time for, hearing from the outside is like, guys, you're already there.
Yeah.
So again, thank you for doing that, because it does have an effect. Because look at what it has done for the community so far. It had shown like, hey, come over here. Come hang out over here, come have a good time. And the more people do that, then you see the area change back into what you wanted it to be in the first place. It's only become what it's been because no one was here to take care of it. If no one cuts the grass, the yard's gonna look like shit. So you guys are here saying, hey, like we're here doing the yard work, come play. And I just really appreciate that, because I personally love going to dive bars and bars that are like neighborhood bars. Those are my favorite ones to go to, as long as the service is at least decent and they care about what they're doing. I hate going to a corporate place. I just do. I mean, I love seeing the machine work the way that it's supposed to, but I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to drink there. Like, I don't feel comfortable having a drink or a meal there, because a lot of times I'm by myself.
Yeah.
And cookie cutter just doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like a lot of the independent spots, they have that something special because there's that, that person that helped create that vision that really has that spark of passion where, yeah, we're hoping to see more of that in downtown and see more kind of independent operators come in here and do the really special, cool stuff like we see at Wolf and Crane, at Bestia, I see at the Wolves. They're doing incredible stuff over there. And like seeing more stuff like that pop up, we're excited. And hopefully that will go into, we got World Cup, we got Olympics, we got Super Bowl, we got so many things coming on the horizon.
Yeah.
So like,
we got All-Star Weekend in a couple months.
Yeah.
It's not down here, but we're gonna see something from
There's got to
that.
be some spillover.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's got to be. Do you guys enjoy as owners now? Like, do you guys like being behind the bar still and bartending? Are you going to continue to keep doing that, or are you guys going to slowly but surely just take a back seat and let the bar run itself?
Obviously, you can't do it forever. I mean, I think that was like I love bartending. It's like coming down here to be an actor. I'm still performing every night just to a different, smaller crowd, and I love people.
Yeah.
I love the interactions every single night. But I think it drives me crazy because he's a phenomenal bartender. I don't think he enjoys it much less than I do these days.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie.
But yeah, we kind of joke like I won't make you step behind the bar if you don't make me send more than 3 emails in a week.
Yeah.
You know,
I really enjoy the operations and systems and how do we fine tune, how can we make the program more efficient, how can we make training more efficient, how can we make the guest experience a little better, and then and throw more events like that. And I think Brandon definitely loves being behind the stick and start the show.
It's amazing how polar this is. Because when it comes to this,
that's what makes us such a great team.
Yeah.
I joke like I live with one of my other best friends, and we joke that like we would run a business into the ground in a month. Just because we're so similar. Whereas like Alexander and I can bounce off of each other, and either one of us will step up when we need to do like the other role as needed. But for the most part, it's like it's great that we are pretty opposite, but also like over the last 10 to 12 years or so, have become such close friends. That it makes our communication is on point. We flipped a house during the pandemic to raise money for the bar.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And that was
Painful.
That was one of the hardest experiences.
Oh wow. Shit.
Where like we always joked about how well we communicate behind the bar. We've just like while we were the multiple places that we've worked at the same time over the years, like our communication has always kind of just been like that. You don't really have to say anything. When you need a coupe, I have one in my hand for you, ready. We just had a system behind the bar. We did not have that working on this house. So it was very much the opposite. Yeah. I needed a Phillips. He had a flathead, the whole time.
Yeah.
Also very transparent. I didn't know jack about construction. I was going because I'm like, I know beverage, I know hospitality.
Yeah.
He had some construction experience, and so I was full on YouTube University, looking everything up. He would ask for a tool. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah.
What are you asking for, dude? And
but making it through that, I mean, I think that also like gave us a new way to communicate. We're like, oh, this isn't always this easy, which definitely primed us for success once we got in here because it was, working together at a spot where even like he would be managing or like mostly running the show, but still when there's a group of owners up there doing their own thing, you're really, both of you are just trying to fulfill their will. So now that it's he and I communicating together as to like what we want, what our vision is, I think it's a lot. We're fortunate to have had some of those struggles that made us better at the communication that we were going to need to get this going.
Yeah. Very
So
well said.
you guys out there, if you're wondering, flip a house first and then own a bar. So bar back, flip a house, then bar owner. That's the pipeline.
We had a cocktail syrups company for a little while too.
Yeah.
We were, we knew that the barrier of entry to get into something. I mean, especially downtown. Downtown was kind of a pipe dream. It wasn't even something that we considered. That was I don't even want to say it like this, but like silver lining of the pandemic, just ravaging downtown. It made a lot, times were so hard down here that a lot of places, like this place we saw go on the market a couple different times, it lowered the lowered the price of so many places that like allowed us to get into a spot downtown. But when we first started looking, it wasn't even really on our radar of downtown, just because it was, it was 2017, 2018.
Peak downtown.
That was peak.
there was
No way.
That's peak. That's what everybody told us.
Yeah.
That's what everybody
$2
told
million
us.
for a bar? Okay.
But we knew we were always kind of hustling together, trying to figure out how are we gonna get a piece of this city, So yeah, there was always like an angle of whatever we were kind of doing together over the years, just like trying to find a way to get our hands on something like this. And it's super cool to actually be here now.
That's cool.
Terrifying, but
I'll take
Very
something.
terrifying. But I mean, starting anything is, and that's what I meant by like the kind of parallels between the two, because like our workflow is kind of similar to that. And it's one of those things like if you don't know who you're partnering with, you're not going to get that far at all. And if there are going to be times where it's tough, like flipping a house, I'm sure there are plenty of times where you're like, you know what? I'm going to see you a little bit later.
There were days we were living in the house that we were
later.
flipping, and there were days that neither one of us came out of the room because we got into it the night before, and I was like, I don't know if I can see you today.
Yeah. But because of that friendship and understanding each other, you're able to be like, want a shot?
That's all you need is just a shot.
Yeah, man. It's just nice to also see that play out at this level. I mean, coming into this interview, yes, I've met you guys a handful of times and you've been great, but I don't know your background. I don't know your history of your friendship. So to hear that, it's, because we've been doing this for 3 years now, and next year is a very big year and we have a lot of things, coming. So it's like, all right, man, like we gotta do what we gotta do, but at least that you're partnering with someone who understands what you're trying to do. So even if there is like a time that you're like, oh, what the fuck are we doing? It's like, you're gonna come back and be like, all right, now I know what the fuck we're doing.
Yeah.
I just needed that minute to figure it out. All right, let's do this. Let's go. And it's just cool because that's also inspiring to people out there who maybe want to open a bar or a salon or anything.
Anything
like,
or start something,
like,
it's a venture that they want to own, something like that. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times you feel like you have to do it by yourself, and it's like, yeah, there are going to be times you feel like that, but it's all. I don't want to say it like this, but it's just like sex. It's always better with a partner.
On that note,
I think you're onto something there.
on that still note of like doing it by yourself, I mean, straight up, one of our mentors, Mike and Matt, they're like, look, guys, you can't open a spot by yourself.
Yeah.
You can, but you're going to be working 70 hours a week. You're going to be...
We're still doing
Yeah.
it.
There's
two of us.
Yeah.
But they're like, look, it's possible, but you're going to run yourself ragged. Where if you have a business partner, he's like, then it's a lot easier, and you guys can bounce off of each other, bounce ideas off of each other, and split the hard stuff of... For example, if he's here bartending, then I'm probably downstairs in the office working on something, and vice versa. It's like you can kind of cover more ground with support.
Yeah,
so,
Exactly.
I've always been like it just makes sense. It just makes good sense to like you're nobody's gonna have all the skill sets. Like,
Even if you are able to do it, you might not be able to do it at that time because of something else that's on your plate.
Yeah. Or like we said, it's like I can do some of the things that he'll ask me to do, but it's like if his skill set is going to knock it out in 30 minutes and it's going to take me 3.5 hours, when I need to, I'll do that for 3.5 hours. I'll figure it out. But if he's over here knocking it out like this, it's like it doesn't make any sense, for your own time.
Exactly. Exactly.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
So I know you guys got to open this bar in a little bit, but I feel like we could get like another 10 minutes out of you.
Sure.
We always love to ask everyone their red flags.
Okay.
And because there are two of you.
And your
these are gonna be-
owners, there's like also another opportunity for red flags.
Yeah,
as
we gotta
well.
start this a little early. Like normally we might have like one more question for you, but like I gotta know. So we always ask your red flags for guests and coworkers, but now there's like
Can kind of spin
there's
it
a
like
third.
Yeah.
Like it's not a
employees.
coworker, but it's also employees. Like everything. So I guess where should we start?
Let's start with the employees. Like, what are red flags when it comes to hiring people or people you have hired? Like, what is something that just sticks out that's like a red flag? It's like they're going to be a problem or we're not hiring them.
Or we need to retrain them.
Or retrain them.
Like that.
Yeah. Being bartenders, barbacks, and now owners, you guys kind of have like a unique perspective. So like,
and I heard
what have you done?
Talk about them glasses earlier.
Yeah. What did you guys do where now you look at it, it's like, damn, if I saw somebody doing that, I would not hire them.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I'll start light. There's like the kind of the industry joke about somebody who's gone to bartending school. But like that being said, don't tell anybody. But I did a bartending school once when I was like 21, like before
21 as well.
Yeah,
I didn't do it at
if
21.
If that's something that they're like bragging about, that's like loudly
That
printed
part.
on there, loudly printed on their resume as like something that makes them qualified, like that's kind of a red flag. It's like nothing to be ashamed of.
I took it on my
It's
resume.
nothing-
It
shouldn't be on the resume.
Exactly. Like,
I
it's
took it
something
off
to
mine a
be
long
ashamed
time
of.
ago.
Second, you get some
It
experience.
definitely like
That
help
it's-
get you some like just general basics, but at the same time, like if somebody's like hanging their hat on that, like that's kind of a red flag.
Yeah. I've always said that, like with the bartending school, like I had already been bartending for a couple years before I took it, but I wasn't trained formally. I was bartending, like I guess you say, under the table for like 2 years, and I was like, if I'm gonna do this as a profession, like I want to know what are all the things I don't know. Let me get this crash course. And so whenever someone tells me they've been to bartending school, as long as they don't hang their hat on it, I'm like, okay, cool. Like I was at a Jameson party a year ago, and this guy showed up, and he was telling everyone that he went to bartending school. But the problem is he was a chef, he was a line cook or something like that, who went to bartending school and now wanted to bartend. And he was at the Jameson's bartender party telling everyone that. And I just pulled him aside. I was like, I wouldn't tell anyone else that I went to bartending school at this
That's
party.
really nice.
That was earlier this year.
That was a year ago. It was literally a year ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Jameson event was
Yeah.
a couple days ago.
It was
right?
literally a year ago.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
I literally pulled. I was like,
Yeah,
I don't think you should tell anyone else. It's not that it's a bad thing.
Is that at my bar?
But yeah. But the way you're going about it, it's not working the way you think it is. Tuck that in your back pocket.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I'd say that one, and for me, the other big one, especially like just interviewing when you have somebody that's overconfident. There's definitely like a fine line, because like you want somebody who's confident and knows that they know their ability and know how they can execute, and they should be able to say that. But every now and again, you get somebody that like I worked at a Japanese whiskey bar for 6 years, and I think I know a lot more about Japanese whiskey than most people, but I still wouldn't call myself an expert in Japanese whiskey.
Yeah.
And then every now and again, you'll be interviewing somebody, and they'll come in and they say they're an expert in Japanese whiskey, and you're like, man, I'm pretty sure you're not. Because like, I feel like if you were, you would have been in my radar up until like, just because
How
like
have we
I
just
know
met?
a lot.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't think I'm the master.
Right.
You know?
You sure
So it's
about
like-
that?
Yeah.
Sure about that?
Yeah, so every now and again, when you get somebody who's just like blatantly overconfident in something, it's like the more, like having worked with some of the best chefs over the years, like most of them don't call themselves a master, or at least they didn't when I met them, and I thought they were. Like so I think, yeah.
What if somebody that
kind of
applies that calls themselves a mixologist? You ever
Oh
had
man,
that?
yeah, that's a bit of a red flag too, yeah.
Or a
Yeah, for
liquid
sure,
alchemist?
for
A
sure,
liquid
for
alchemist?
sure.
That's still my favorite one.
Yeah, that's a big red flag.
That's my
for
favorite
sure.
one.
Or a cocktail
Like, wait, you
alchemist
work
or
for the
whatever?
brand?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think those are my big two, I think.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's if you can't speak passionately about something, like just have a candid conversation. Like at the end of the day, we're bartenders. We're here to socialize. So if you can't socialize with us, how do you expect me to trust that you can socialize with complete strangers and other guests? So being able to have candid conversations, being able to talk about hobbies, or I want to know what you do outside of work, because work should not be your end all be all thing. It should be, make your money. If you're passionate about it, great. But what else are you doing? Because there's got to be stuff more to life than just work.
Yeah.
And
Why do you want to work here?
But if you want to,
Why do I want to work here? Because I need money.
Full circle.
You pay me, I'll do the job right.
But I totally get too. People say like, I love hospitality industry. Great, and that's your hobby, that's your passion. Fantastic. But if it's just like, I want to make drinks and make money, well, there's got to be more. Like, what else is going on? It says us being a neighborhood spot. You got to have that that neighborhood hospitality.
Right,
So,
because what if you're not able to make drinks or make money because it's slow and you only have the one guest?
exactly.
You got to be able to talk to them.
I'm only making $5 off of them. Well, it's $5 more than you were going to make. Come on, let's go.
$5 every day or every week, you'll know
And they're
you'll
gonna
get.
leave here and
It's a
tell their
guaranteed
friends
$5.
about the incredible conversation they had, or the great bartender that was at Spring Street Bar. And
Yeah, I think one of the best pieces of advice I got from Jason Valdez, he's the current manager of Wolf and Crane right now, our GM over there. He told me one time we were interviewing a couple different bar backs. I had just started as bar lead, got to sit in on some of the interview process, and then one person had a good amount of experience and the other one didn't. I was like, well, obviously the one with more experience. And he's like, yeah, man, no, no. He's like, I don't ever want to sit down and have a beer with that person. And I like that. That was like a huge lesson for me because I'm like, just experience doesn't mean anything. Because at the end of the day, like, you know, a monkey can make cocktails. Like it's like you're
robots are making cocktails.
Yes, robots are making cocktails.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, but it's
You
like
can teach someone to make a good cocktail. You
hospitality
can't
is like,
teach being a good bartender.
No,
Yeah.
man.
Yes.
You can teach a cocktail, but you can't teach the
Correct.
skills.
Yeah,
Sorry to
yeah,
interrupt,
yeah.
but yeah, it's like you said.
Sorry, that was.
Yeah.
Robots
Gotta think that.
Robots
Yes.
are making cocktails, monkeys can make cocktails, but
yeah. So the idea of just like wanting to actually spend time with somebody, I think that's the thing that we're most focused on. Obviously, we need to make sure that we curate a staff that is educated and can do the job well. But just having a good personality, I think, is one of the more important things. Just in hospitality in general, that we feel like was kind of lacking in the city at the moment. So we're like really trying to build a team that reflects that.
Awesome.
one thing to piggyback on that before we get to the other
Red flags, yeah.
the two questions. Do you have a memorable interview? Could be good or bad. One that you you don't forget that you guys conducted while hiring. Like, do you have an interview that you had where you're like, I'm never gonna forget that experience. Somebody that just stuck out. It could be good or bad. Somebody that completely bombed and thought they nailed it, or somebody that completely nailed it and
I got one, but no.
Can we hear it off camera though?
Yeah.
I can probably tell you off camera.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, if you don't have any either, that's fine too. It's just
Yeah.
that one I kind of threw out there, so I kind of got
Yeah,
off guard with that.
That's an off-camera question.
This industry is too small.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
That was my first thought. I was like,
the industry's too small.
Oh, we're too new.
Yeah.
you tell that story, and next thing you know, you get a text like in a week, like, that was me. I remember that. Where they just walk in here.
Hey, were you talking about me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what's your red flags for?
I guess.
I guess.
Let's go with guess.
Yeah, let's go with guess. Being bar owners, like, what do you got, or even leading up to it?
Man, so I love doing my mistake, and I love interacting with guests. But when I have the guests that will not stop reaching across the bar top to grab you and grab your attention and all these things, I'm like, don't put your hands on me.
Yeah.
Don't like this. There's a reason that this is here.
We got like about 10, 12 inches, 15 inches of just
space.
And for us, it's easy. You got this rail here. This is like a do not cross.
Yeah.
Right.
Once you get from to the metal part, you are out of bounds, sir.
that is out of bounds, 100%.
Yeah.
I look forward to the days where the bars have force fields that work like one way, where you can just you can hand
you can
stuff
only go
through,
out.
but they can't reach over.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
That'll be nice.
Yeah.
I look forward to that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a big one for me.
Yeah, that one drives me insane too. I don't know. I mean, I think it's hard, honestly. Like there are ones, that I'm so happy. Like that's also why you build a good team. It's like because you can't see everything all the time. So I don't know if this is really answering the question, but I feel like just like over communication with your team is kind of how you solve some of those red flags. Where it's like sometimes a guy will be being kind of weird with a group. You can't tell if he's just drunk guy hitting on them or if it's about to be a thing. But it's like if your whole team is kind of like looking out for those subtle red flags. We're like, hey, like last night I went out. There was not an issue yet, but I told our host guard, I was like, hey, this guy, he's kind of just hitting on everything that moves right now. He hasn't done anything. And the girl he's hitting on, I know well, and she's like, she can handle her own.
Right,
she doesn't need his help yet.
Right.
I was like, but like if you could just kind of keep an extra eye on him, so that like if it does happen, you're not like you're not paying attention.
Right.
Like just kind of
Got to get
trying
5
to head
different
them off as much
testimonies.
as you
Yeah.
can. That's
Yeah.
what we were like constantly like, trying to tell the team, like over communicate.
Yeah.
Just be like, hey, the last drink that guy had was kind of questionable. I thought about pulling it back.
Yeah.
You know, like just over communicate, just so that you're trying to get ahead of these things before they really go downhill.
Yeah, no, I really wholeheartedly agree with that. It's something that we have at my establishment, and like my GM is very good about that when we're at our nightlife portion on the weekends. And I just had this happen on Friday, where a guest comes in, and like I was by myself. And there was a party that was supposed to have about 100, no, not about 100 people, about 50, 60 people, but they were supposed to trickle in. So our hours were set up to where it was supposed to be okay. They didn't trickle in. They all showed up at once with one bartender, and I think I had a bar. Yeah, I had a bar back. And I'm just trying to keep up, trying. And she tried to piggyback off of someone else's order, which was skipping people on the other end of the bar. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I know you think you're next because I'm taking care of him, but I didn't say that. I just didn't make her drink because I didn't hear it.
I love that.
I just didn't hear it. Like I didn't hear her order. I was focused on making his order because he ordered 5 things. And I was just like, no, I'm making this for him. He doesn't seem to know you and I definitely don't. Anyway, fast forward, point is, because I didn't make her drink when I made his, she caught an attitude and then was upset that the drink wasn't on happy hour. But the menu clearly states on a board outside and on the digital thing is signature cocktails. The guest standing next to her told her, it's their signature cocktails. He's already told us, it's on the menu, She's like, well, why is mine more expensive? They're even trying to calm her down. Then she jumps on the phone and just starts talking shit about me. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? And I was like, hey, if you're gonna yell about me so much, can you at least go speak to my manager? And she just starts going off even more.
You called the manager.
Right. She was like, no, I'm gonna stand right fucking here. And she was like this close to me, just yelling on the phone. Fuck this motherfucker. But my barback, I didn't know this, had already walked over and let my GM know. So by the time I saw my GM to be like, hey, can you just keep an eye on this guest because she's like kind of going off and I can't engage with her. He's like, he already told me, I got it. And then next thing you know, within 15 seconds, he's standing next to her, but not like ushering her out, just his presence was there. He was just wiping the bar, which made her kind of move over a little bit more, which then made her talk to someone else, which then made her turn around and walk outside. And I was like, masterful. So sorry, I know. I picked, but that like it sent me to that story, and it just happened, man.
Yeah,
so those are the things you can prevent. And our friend Martha had said on the show a couple days ago about how she's always trying to make sure that people are taken care of, especially women. And I've had friends who have reached out to me since that clip went on social media, and they're like, "That's one of the reasons we like coming to your bar because you guys do try to take care of us and make sure we're okay." We always feel safe there that if we go to someone, we're gonna be okay. Yeah. And so that's another thing that the community knows about this bar now. So I commend you for that because you've trained your team to make sure that the guest is always taken care of first.
Yeah, that's a growing thing too. You know, it's like you're gonna make mistakes along the way as long as it's like, you know, you address it and be like, ooh, yeah, we could have handled that better. Could have done this. Could have done that. Yeah. Make sure that you're just constantly like trying to up your game on those things, you know, so that you're not,
One last thing, Yelp reviews. How do you guys react and treat that?
So,
because there's some owners that kind of just way overcorrect. Yeah. And then
we've been fortunate. We've had, I think, 3 negative reviews since we've opened. So we're
a year in.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's real fucking good.
And I've been rude to way more than 3 people.
That's awesome.
And hopefully, you know, we'll keep that trajectory or the low reviews down. Yeah. But we kind of case by case basis what the review is, what's going on. If it's justified, then we'll try to correct it, either invite them in or reach out to them. If it's just something that just seems way out of left field, then yeah, it's a whole different can of worms that we'd probably rather not open.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah, sometimes it's not worth your time. I think
Yeah.
Yeah. If it, I think it's pretty much you said it. Yeah, if it's something that you feel like the person was wronged and you can help correct it, like hey, invite them back in for a free drink or something.
Yeah.
Or a conversation at least, an apology.
Yeah.
But most of the time it's not.
Yes,
It's like that the person you were talking about where
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I didn't get served as fast as I wanted. Like, well, you were 7th in line.
Yeah.
Sorry. You came in during a happy hour Christmas party and you didn't get served in less than 2 minutes. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It
Just-
honestly had only been maybe 5 at the most,
Yeah.
with her being 7th in line.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
come on. Like, I'm here by myself, But
Read
yeah.
the room.
So I don't want to leave it on that note. So, I mean, can either or both of you kind of leave everybody out there with some kind of message that you'd like to, I mean, we're going into a new year and everything.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, maybe a motto or quote that some of you go by. I don't know. I want to leave it on a happier note than Yelp reviews.
Negative Yelp reviews.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're just really optimistic for the new year for downtown. Again, we've got a lot of really cool events coming, and hope the World Cup will kind of rebuild and give downtown some new life.
Yeah.
And not to be cheesy, but support your local businesses and
Yeah.
support local bars and kind of convince your friends and family that downtown's cool. And yeah,
It
it's a
is.
place to hop
It is
around.
cool.
That's
It is.
It's very cool.
Great bars, great places.
Great people. I love downtown LA. I've been coming to LA for like 20 years before I even moved here. So I just always loved the city. And then when I finally moved down here and downtown was like trying to come back up, it's like, can we please
And that's the thing
bring
too.
it
It's
back?
like if you want downtown to get cleaner, again, if you want it to get more attention,
Yeah.
and more dollars poured into the city, so you got to come down and
Exactly.
and experience it. I think that's the thing. Just come hang out downtown. There's there's a new life that's trying to grow down here, but it's just like we got to get more people down here. But
Yeah.
we're gonna be here regardless. So.
Yeah.
That's awesome. One message I will leave with myself, and then I'll pass it to Paulo. I've had this thing about the term owner, and it's mostly because a lot of people who are owners of something consider themselves to be owners of it. Like I have ownership, when really in this world we're all leasing everything. Like we don't get to take anything with us. What I always prefer is someone who is an investor, who's willing to invest in something, because that person is also going to do everything they can to see it succeed, even being down there with you in the trenches, because they're like, I'm invested in this. It's not that I own it and hey, you guys figure it out. It's like, no, I'm invested. Time, energy, commitment, everything. And I just want to say it's so refreshing to see two owners who still are invested and they carry themselves as investors. Like, I just want to say thank you for that, because it gives me more hope. So I'll stop talking shit about so many owners, because I get angry about some of the things that have happened. But to see guys like you, it's really fucking dope to see that. So thank you so much for everything you guys have done for
Shout out to
downtown.
you guys. Yeah. I got nothing. It's cool to talk to some owners that kind of look like they probably still bartender or something like that. It's kind of cool.
The bags on your eyes, isn't it?
No, I mean like I'm not, when I think of owner or somebody that owns a bar, I always just think of some older gentleman with gray hair and that has no idea what's going on here and just looks at
me too.
reports.
Yeah.
That's what I think of.
Me
So
too. So I'm starting to feel like that.
Cheers to that, man. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in, and
guys.
be sure to like and subscribe. Give us some comments to help the algorithm and things like that. And special thank you again to
Thank
the
you,
owners
guys.
of Spring Street Bar. This has been so much fun
Yeah.
getting to know more about you, and we will see you guys next time. And until then, cheers to the
cheers
staff.
to the staff.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.